Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Puppet Carlson here. And tonight, I am flying without the David Pollack, my sidekick. Who needs David Pollack when you are the puppet with the mostest? And tonight, we have a packed show for you. Jimmy Carter passes away at 100 years old, and everybody's got something to say. We're going to be talking about the mainstream media waking up from the fog to realize Biden has cognitive problems? What? Okay, we're going to be talking about how the White House is sending $2.5 billion in your taxpayer money over to Ukraine in a last-ditch effort to destroy America. Plus, we're going to be talking about the H-1B visa debate. Is this hype or is it real that there is a divide in the right-wing MAGA party over this? And we're even going to be talking about bird flu. It's back, ladies and gentlemen. All that and more is coming up tonight on the Puppet Carlson Show, featuring my best little buddy, David Pollack.
Americans are feeling the squeeze, struggling with the cost of everything from gas.
How do you feel about the economy? Raising interest rates.
Iran's most intense strike ever against Israel.
Get up, Puppet.
What, Dave? What?
We got work to do.
Puppet Carlson reporting for duty. I'm driving, Dave.
You're not driving.
I am driving, Dave. I'm in the Cybertruck.
Come on.
I'm gonna regret this.
All right, I don't know about this. Are you sure you want to try to drive?
Dave, Elon made this sucker to drive itself.
All right.
Let's boogie! I got this, man.
Can you even reach the pedals?
Sit down and cool it.
Puppet, pick a lane.
Chill out, Dave. I'm a non-binary driver.
Let's get to work.
Wait up, Dave. I'm the star of this show. All right. We are back, and we are bad. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Puppet Carlson Show. And we might, if we're unlucky tonight, we might get a pop-in from my co-host with the most. It is the David Pollack. He might be here tonight checking in on his patriotic puppet pal, me, Puppet Carlson, and making sure that I'm doing everything right. And I got to tell you, running a show is not very easy when you're doing it with one hand tied behind your back and another one controlling the biggest mouth in politics. Puppet Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on here for reported for duty. All right. But it's just not me tonight. I have with me, I wouldn't call her my sidekick, but maybe in the future, my co-host. And I am going to be really excited to introduce to you tonight my very fine, well, I'll just bring her on and you can tell. She'll tell you herself. Here she is, Allie Leger. Come on in, Allie Leger. I got a thing for you. My puppet-loving princess of patriotic American pride, Allie Leger.
There you go. Thank you so much, Puppet. That was a wonderful introduction. Hey, Patriot fam, all of you that are watching the David Pollack Show this evening, thank you all so much for joining. Please make sure you like, follow, share, and subscribe because we need all of your, come on, we need the interaction. Otherwise, why are we doing this, right? We want to get to know
I often say to myself, why am I doing this? Especially when David's on the show. Why am I doing this with David?
Well,
but let's talk about something. We've got a packed show. We've got lots to talk about. We're going to have the panel come in a little bit. But first, I wanted to talk to you about this H-1B visa debate. Have you been following this?
I have a little bit. I have.
So there is, I think the left-wing media is trying to create a fake narrative, with not a surprise, right? Not a surprise that the left-wing media would create a fake narrative, but around
break it down a little bit so the people that are watching it, in case they don't know what this is, break it down for them a little.
I will break it down. And so the question is whether there's an actual divide or it's a real divide among MAGA conservatives and Republicans. So the H-1B visa is a visa that is given to people to come into the country and work, typically, from my perspective, higher level jobs. And a lot of corporations will take these people on, bring them over here on these visas, and they will put them to work in their corporations. And these typically tend to be engineers and programmers and, technical people and things like that. And there are, I think the number is something like 85,000 of these visas given every year. And we have hit the cap for that this year. And there's a debate on whether we should be doing this at all. And what some people are saying in the party is that this actually takes American jobs away. And other people like Elon Musk are saying that this is necessity. This is a necessity for America's future, because if we want to be the greatest country in the world, we want to have the greatest innovation, we should be bringing in people from all over the place that are the smartest and the brightest and using them to help us achieve greatness here in this country. So that is really kind of the debate. And I think people are getting a little annoyed that Musk is taking this position, and actually Trump has backed his position on this. And some conservatives are saying that this is an antithesis to his immigration stance. So what say you?
Well, this actually points to the fact that everybody has fallen for the trap.
And what trap
What
is it?
really is this conversation actually talking about? So when we listen to what Elon is saying about how if we want to be the best and the brightest in this field, this is currently what we have to do in order to fill this need, right? But what does that point to? It points to operating or going outside of the American people to find that, outside of America to find that. Why are we going outside of America to find that? Because our education system is completely in shambles right now. We are graduating seniors at a 90% rate, and more than half of them can't read or write on a 4th grade level. How exactly do you expect CEOs to find the best in their field to work in the operations or the programs or the jobs that they have created here in America to operate that effectively or efficiently if we do not have the tools or the people to pull from within our own communities? That is the problem.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that. The problem also is because our American education system is so inept. It's going to take a while for us to correct that and actually get prime engineers popping out of the system. So
well, the only way to solve that is to get rid of the Department of Education or to completely reform it to where we actually fund our schools, that our states are able to fund their schools because it is their job to fund their local schools, right? It's also a part of on us, we the people, to make sure that we are bringing the programs within our local schools. So you have to be actively involved in your school boards, building relationships with those board members, building relationships with the committees that they form that are elected, right? You have to build those relationships and be involved in the local part, not the national part, the local part. Because if you want to make national impact, you have to start locally and build those relationships. Otherwise, we're going to get the same things that we've always gotten. So yes, while it seems like it's violating this immigration law that Trump has campaigned on, but in all actuality, it doesn't, because he's not removing those that have visas. He's removing those that have been here illegally, that have come over here illegally. If you have a visa, that's not illegal, right? And actually, right now, we do need people to fill these positions because the American pot doesn't have it.
Well, and to be fair, also, Elon has been talking about this for a long time, and so have others. The fact that these engineers, these programmers, these really high-end jobs that create all of the innovation in the country,
Mhm.
those jobs in every country are in demand and there are not enough of them.
Right.
So it's not just our system that's broken, that although partly is broken. And if we had a better system, we'd have more of these people here. But even if we employed all of the ones that we have here, we would still need twice as many more from somewhere else, because
Yes.
the future of the country depends on these people. And so the beauty of America, from my perspective, is the fact that people want to come here. So
Mhm.
we have the ability to obtain the best and the brightest from all over the world and get them to come here and get them to build American innovation and our American economy and our country to be the best, the strongest, and the baddest in the whole entire world, which we are, but we can be even better. And all we need are these people. So this program, in my opinion, is an essential program for that. I don't think that we're costing Americans jobs for
No.
using this program.
Well,
And I
I
think it
do
needs to be
think
expanded.
I think it does need to be expanded, but I also think we need to have recruiters in like corporate recruiting systems or jobs or whatever that is, that environment, that industry, to actually, vet and see who in America, if we get to America first, right? If we go through that roster first and fill those positions first with Americans first, and then once those positions are filled, we can go outside of America to figure out who these people are that represent our values and can actually do the job. Then I think that's a better way to go about that. But we also need to make sure that we revamp and reform our education system in order for us to fill those positions.
Yeah, one of the consternation points, Allie, is that I guess with the program, some of these people, the people that get these visas, they are paid a lower wage because they're from out of the country, and so corporations are opting to hire these people over
Yes,
opting to hire Americans,
because it's
and
cheaper.
because it's cheaper.
Well, if
And
we do that, then there needs to be sanctions on that business.
well, and so Musk is saying, well, we can just augment the program to charge a fee to the corporations for hiring these people, an additional fee, which
Right.
would make it more expensive to hire them out of the country than in the country. But they
Exactly.
could still make it advantageous to hire them out of the country because we need these people in the country doing work.
1,000%. We do need incentives though for these businesses and corporations in order for them to hire Americans, which you would think that why would you need incentives? But it has to, we just have to, that's just the world we live in. Everybody does something it contractually. Nothing
Yeah,
is
and
ever really
dollars
out
and
of the
cents.
kindness
I
of your
mean,
heart.
obviously, the market dictates, and costs are when costs are important, which they always are important in business.
Yep, it's
You're
the
going to
bottom
look for
line.
the way to cut the costs and get the best product. So, I mean, that's just how business works. So we
And
have
if we want to
make
be the
it
best, we
advantageous.
have to actually educate ourselves the best. And that's currently not happening. So we cannot complain that we're, we can't be delusional and think that we're the best in the world. And clearly we're not the best in the world, right?
Clearly.
Just looking at the statistics, we are not the best in the world right now. So take accountability. First, accept that you have a problem. We are not the best in the world. And then figure out how we can fix it. And that's how we move forward.
All right. Speaking of a broken education system, I have David Pollack backstage. I'm going to bring him out here because I know he's chomping at the bit to say something.
He's just
And
nervous. He thinks we're going to bomb his show.
I know he does. I know he does, but
Oh,
I'm bringing him
no.
up. Here we go. David Pollack, welcome to the Puppet Carlson Show, featuring you, my
Yeah.
human flesh sidekick, David Pollack.
Hi,
Yeah. I
David.
can, hopefully you can hear me okay.
We hear
in
you
West-
great, David. You're
Yeah,
sounding great.
I'm in West Virginia. I'm in my Tim Pool gear here tonight. And it's cold and we're going skiing. And so we're fixing some skis and getting ready for skiing.
Have fun.
Nice. You're doing
You're doing a good job,
excellent.
Puppet. I have to say, good thing Allie's here. Because if Allie wasn't here, I don't know how it would be going. So thank you, Allie. For being here.
Anytime.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
are
I mean, well, I will say, talking to myself for the whole time would be quite boring, honestly. I think only people who have a giant ego can sit there and talk to themselves for an hour all by themselves.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I look like Brett Favre a little bit, right? Like a little Jewish Brett Favre.
You look like the football.
The what?
The football.
So I talked to myself for a whole year on radio by myself.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to do, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, but you're doing a great job. You guys look
Thanks.
great. And what are we talking about? I missed the
We're
beginning of the
talking
show
about the
because I was
H1 visa. Were you not listening to the show?
no,
Terrible.
because you logged into my Restream account,
Oh,
and if I
sorry.
logged in, I would have become the host, and something weird would happen in this broadcast. So I had to create another
Well,
account.
You
This
are,
is
well, you're
yeah.
a guest, so you should have used the guest link.
Yeah, the guest link makes, and we'll talk about this offline. It just didn't work the way you wanted it to. So we're talking about H1B. Listen, can I tell you?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know for the life of me why we're talking about H1B visa. Like,
Yeah.
can
I
we
don't
talk
either.
about that for a second? Because I know it's important. We need to fix our immigration system. It's a total freaking mess. You have people who want to come to this country legally who can't. We have people who want to come to this country illegally who can. We have to fix it. And people shouldn't have to wait 3 years if they want to come to the United States and work and help our country get better. I get all that. And if companies want to bring in people, I mean, my opinion about H1B, I mean, look, there's always reform necessary in a lot of things. We certainly don't want to make it easier for companies to pay foreigners less and give them a visa as a reward for it. But at the same time, if they can't find somebody to fill a position, there should be criteria in place. That H1B makes a lot of sense. Companies need to staff their companies, right? We want to get to Mars, don't we? But that being said, this is actually a good debate for us to have when that legislation is actually relevant and when Congress is
Yeah.
actually looking to take action on H1B. We're 20
Right
days out
now.
from an inauguration. Why the
Mhm.
hell are we talking about H1B? Like, that's the thing that I haven't understood. Where did this even come from?
I think
Like,
it's come from because we hit the cap of the 85,000. That's the only reason I think this is coming up.
right. But the thing is, like, okay, and what? Like,
I don't know. But
like,
that's just,
so what? I mean, is Congress going to do anything in the lame duck session? No. Is Biden going to do anything? No. As you talked about earlier, is like Biden even know he's president? So, and
no.
Kamala is not running around pretending she's president. So, at the same time, nobody's going to do anything about it now. So, I mean, Mike Johnson can't even get a budget bill done. We're certainly not going to do H1B reform.
Right.
So, why the hell are we talking about H1B?
Something
I
to
can't
talk
figure
about.
it out.
Yeah, it's something to just talk about and continue to push division within something that is a
Right.
working machine. That's what it is.
And
But
what
it
happened
also
to the
points
drones?
to the bigger picture, which I don't think a lot of people are touching on. David, we talked about this before you got on, was it's the education system. If you want to be the best and the brightest and hire the best and the brightest, we need to fix our education system.
Well, that I heard that. I heard Pubba said, speaking of the broken education system, here's David Pollack. I heard that part.
I did
Now,
say that. Yes.
we do need to fix our education system, but we also need to fix something even bigger than that. And we have to fix our culture
Yeah.
because right now being educated isn't cool. Being smart and getting a job as a rocket scientist isn't cool. So instead, making flirtatious videos on OnlyFans is who
Yeah,
the kids
that's
look
the
up
job
to.
you want. You want to be a
Yeah,
basketball
and then,
player, an NFL star, or
yeah,
a
a rapper
rock
who
star,
sing
rapper, or an
influencer
influencer.
on
Stuff that does not
OnlyFans.
actually contribute to,
Right.
you
You want to wear makeup and look pretty in front of a camera and dance around and have people like it. Like we don't have role models. All of our role models are role models for the wrong reasons. So culturally we're broken. And so you can't fix an education system unless we first fix our culture. And until people value an education, it doesn't matter how good you make the education, kids have
right.
to want it, right? If the kid doesn't like the flavor of the cereal, they're not going to eat it. And so that leads to the bigger problem is we already have an underfunded public education system. We have a politicized public education system. And then we
Mhm.
have kids going into a public education system that's not serving them, and they're not even being served anything edible.
Right.
We got to fix all of it. I think we need to reform our culture. I think that's where we start. We need to start valuing education. You have kids from China who come here not knowing a single word of English, but they're so honored to be in this country, and they know this consequences if they don't study. They're all the valedictorians. Look at all your valedictorians. Your top 10% of every single class. They're not white people. They're
Mm-mm.
Indian kids, Chinese kids. They're not, and it's not that white kids don't have the intelligence or the privileges or the opportunities. I mean, talk about privilege. They talk about white privilege all the time. These kids have all the privilege. They speak the language. They've grown up in our education system. Their parents usually make a decent living. And these kids are not in the top 10% of the
Yep.
class because they don't value education. So you can have a broken education system, but if kids aren't even performing well in our broken I mean, think about how easy it is for
Yep.
kids to get an A right now, right? They do about 5 minutes of classwork, 55 minutes of indoctrination and playtime, and they still can't get an A. So if we have a system where kids can't even do well in the current system, what the hell's the purpose of reforming it? So
Right.
what we need to do is fix our culture. That's where I'd start.
That's a big lift. That is a
Mm.
big, big lift to fix culture, but it takes everybody.
Yeah, it's not that big of a lift, Allie, because really what we need to do is, and this is why I'm so proud to be part of We the Studios, is what we need to do is start with, because who sets culture, right? Culture comes from entertainment. And it used to be the shows were wholesome, featured
Yeah,
intact families where kids were
100%.
educated. And now
They
look at
went to
what's on
school.
TV. Right. They went to school. Now look what's on TV. We're not in the Saved by the Bell generation anymore. We're not in Family Matters generation anymore. Now we
Mm-mm.
have smut reality television where you
Yeah.
have a bunch of overpaid people running around creating fragrance lines.
But
Like
even then,
we
Dave,
yeah.
even in the Family Matters age, the nerdy kid was looked down upon. Although he was the most popular guy on the show.
But not Stefan. Stefan
Not
was pretty
fun.
groovy. Don't forget Stefan. So I got you, Allie. So
You do that.
they made me laugh. So here's the deal. We just have to have programming on television that kids look. We need new idols, right?
Yes.
It's not our politicians. Our politicians are not serving the values of our country right now. What we
Right.
need is wholesome television,
Yeah.
wholesome entertainment. We need role models. If it's not going to be in your churches or your temples or your mosques or your communities, then it has to be on the TV that people are
Create it.
consuming. These
Yep.
devices that we have in our hand, we have to create the culture. Exactly right, Allie. And we do that through solid, wholesome programming. And that's what we do at We the Studios. And that's what we need to do nationally. We need to just change the narrative. We need to make it cool to be successful. And then you know what? Maybe we won't need H-1B visas.
Right.
That's not the issue. And
Yeah,
you hear you
exactly.
hear the argument all the time about people coming across the border because they want to. Democrats seem to believe that everybody crosses the border wants to pick fruit in California, but that's what they
Slave
think.
mentality. Oh, look at these immigrants. They need a better life here. Come pick my come pick my
Well,
oranges.
you got to pick the cotton and
At least
harvest
it's
the
not
crop.
cotton anymore. It's oranges.
But in reality, there
While we do
are now.
insider trading.
Right, yeah, why we do insider trading on the companies that they're picking the fruit for. So
Right.
the thing is, but there are legitimate people who want to come here and actually work. Now they want to work in fields, they want to work for half a year doing skilled labor and then sending money back home. But the other part, we have a gang element, a criminal element, and God knows what coming across. But the reality is, I'm sick of the argument of Americans don't want to do this, therefore we need other people to do it.
Yeah, no.
That's not the issue.
That's
The
not.
issue is we need to value work. We need to actually make work we need to make work affordable, and that's the other issue. You have
So many issues,
parents,
David. It's
right?
like an
But
onion.
honestly,
You peel it
but
back,
Allie,
there's more.
you're a mom, right? How when you had babies, we had to do it in my house too. We had to decide on whether one of us were going to keep our job
Mm,
or send our kid to daycare, and we had to look at the price and go, wow, we're almost breaking even. Maybe you should stay home with the kid. And then we thought, well, then in 5 years we won't have a job. But these are the decisions that families make on a daily basis. Is
yep.
what do I have to sacrifice to work? Because wages are not meeting the needs of goods. And then you look at RFK and we talk about making America healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to eat healthy because
No.
even the cheap food is expensive now. So yes, it is like an onion. There's multiple layers, multiple problems. But I go back to my original point and then I'll land. I don't know why we're arguing about H-1B visas. We need to be arguing about so much more fundamental things. And
Right.
the reason why I think we're talking about it is because up until the H-1B, we had Democrats, independents, Republicans. We have never been so united as a movement. Even Democrats were questioning the direction they were going and going, well, it seems like everybody's going in this direction. And now all of a sudden MAGA's tearing up MAGA because of an H-1B issue that's not even relevant.
Right. That's
That
not
that
even, it doesn't even address the core problem. It's a
correct.
symptom. It is a symptom of a problem. Oh, I
Yeah.
But
really wish
are
we
we?
could start
But
thinking
are we
more.
tearing
Are we
each other
what?
apart, or is
I think
that?
Well,
it's a
social media
perception.
is. Social media is tearing each other apart. I mean, the people on X and other platforms are tearing each other apart. There's a rift. They used to love, and again, I'm going to go in another tangent. Then I got to let you guys have your show back. But here's the deal.
You can't help it.
I know. Well, it says the David Pollack show right above my head, and
Well,
so you know. But here's the deal. We have to stop being so absolutist about everything. Oh, there you go. That's the low. But now I can't freaking see past it. So, but but that being said, if I can remember my train of thought, we have to stop being so absolutist about things.
Yes.
Like we can't go 1 week of loving Elon Musk and then thinking he's the devil the next week, like a LARPer.
just because
We
he
can't.
doesn't 100% agree with everything you say.
Right. Like that has to
Yeah.
stop. Like we can't go from loving Trump one week to hating him the next week because we disagree with the policy. And similarly, we can't go from loving certain people, influencers, politicians, people, actors, whoever, one week, and then they say one thing that you disagree with about somebody you agree with, and all of a
It
sudden
is
we hate them.
it is
Cancel
okay
culture
to
exists on both
right.
sides,
It's
right?
okay to disagree with something.
Correct.
Gosh, it doesn't mean that you're turning your back and like stabbing them like in the back with like it. That's not how this happens. We have to have
Agreed.
good civic discourse. We have to be able to come to the table with differing opinions and differing perspectives. Otherwise, we're just walking around in the same echo chamber and nothing happens and nothing changes.
That's it. That's it. If we're going to be a Big Ten party, we have to be willing to consider things that maybe we haven't thought of, and that's what
Right.
makes America great. And if that's what we're going to do, that we have to do it. But listen, I'm going to let you guys go back and have your show back because I wanted this to be y'all's, and here I am running my mouth in a
Because you're a
garage.
control freak, David.
That's true.
I'm not a control freak. I just have great
That is true.
ideas. And my commentary is so perfect and spot on.
Oh my
that I-
God.
that,
Oh,
that you guys were mesmerized by it the whole time.
oh
I
my
come on the
God.
show
Mesmerized.
and I start talking, and you guys are like, "Oh God, please keep talking."
Oh my God.
It's like Andrea Bocelli just showed
Where's
up
my
and
Snickers bar?
he's singing. It's like you couldn't take your eyes off of me, like a Michael Phelps swimming like a lap or
yes.
something.
Yeah.
Go get a Snickers. You're crazy.
David's
All right,
like,
let me-
shut up, you loser plebeians that don't know how to say anything.
Right.
Let the maestro is talking.
All right, go have the show back. I'll pop back in for the panel. Put me
Okay.
backstage, puppet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
He won't leave. He won't leave.
Well,
Bye,
guess what?
David.
I get the control when he comes in and goes. So he's out of here. All right. So
He's
thank
like,
you,
oh, I'll give you
David,
guys
for
the show.
that.
And then he's like, I'm coming back for the panel. No.
He thinks he's coming
Bye.
back. Yeah.
Go Kings.
Guess
Isn't that
what?
why
I
you
get
had
the
us
control when he comes back, and he's out of here.
start? Like,
Because I don't know if you can see this. You can't really see it.
no.
But hang on. Let me see if I can do it with this view. The shine says the Puppet Carlson Show. You see that?
I see it.
Yeah. So that's
Oh,
right,
so
folks.
cute.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's
like
right. That's right. This is the show. Well, we do have to pay for the show, Allie. So we're
Okay.
going to go and take a little commercial break, and we'll come back and I'll bring our panelists in, and we have so much to talk about upcoming. So stay tuned, everybody.
I'm Scotty Cahill, and I'm the founding partner at FinSec Life. FinSec Life is an independent agency that works with a multitude of carriers that brings the best pricing to each client we serve. With our 40 plus years of experience in the industry, allows us to deliver unique results to each individual client. We do not get paid until your policy is placed, until you have your insurance. So we will do the work. We will ensure that everything is taken care of, whether you get the best pricing, whether you get treated fairly by the underwriting team. If you have an existing policy and you want to know whether the policy is performing as it should, or if you have additional needs for insurance, please contact us at 321-800-3901, and we'll be happy to quote you on a new insurance. The phone number again is 321-800-3901, and the website is finseclife.com, financialsecurityforlife.com.
In today's fast-paced world, effective communication is the backbone of successful businesses. Are outdated systems and high costs slowing you down? Switch to Public Telephone Company for cutting-edge voice-over IP solutions. Enjoy seamless connectivity, unparalleled reliability, and significant cost savings. Tailor-made voice-over IP solutions designed for your business needs. Join countless businesses in transforming your communication with Public Telephone Company. Public Telephone Company. Revolutionize the way you connect.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they have been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
I am so sick of this woke crap.
Let's watch TV for normal people.
A super influencer is someone that takes the cause that they fight for, whether it's social media, networking, partnerships, and just dominates that movement with it. Let's get into today's episode.
We gotta build the chicken coop today.
We have 4 beautiful children that we adopted.
Anytime you're out there with your kids, it's teaching them to be a productive member of society. And let's herd them like cattle, boys and girls. Come on. We take race out of it. We parent based off principles.
We're going to take everyone's phone so they can sit and actually talk to each other.
This is a kitchen fight for sure.
My name's Tito Ortiz.
Get some!
Everybody knows me from the fighting world.
Real.
But I'm also an avid fisherman.
Tito Ortiz got his sea monster. Hello!
Hey guys, it's Conservative Ant.
I'm Kendall in Kentucky.
I'm Blake Reynolds.
I'm the Patriot Barbie.
I'm Amber Nicole Ortiz.
Check out the first and only non-woke entertainment.
Only on We the Studios.
You have daughters cheerleading, then you have parents chopping off their breasts.
There's so much to do to save America.
Do to save America.
Oh yeah, that onion chop is something else, right?
That was.
Onion chop.
But I like that.
I like it too.
I like what Lindsay said. There's so much to do to save America. What are you doing to save America? How are you making a difference?
This is what we're doing to save America. Kinda.
Well, I do a little more than you though, but it's fine.
Oh, okay. Shut up, you plebeian, you little puppet. You don't do anything.
I'm just kidding.
That's true. I do. I sit around all day like this.
No, this is important what you're doing.
And then I come to life.
It's culture. We're supposed to take over culture, right? We're supposed to change everything.
That's right. Well, if this is what we're doing. We're getting people to want to be like us. A puppet,
I don't want you to be like me.
Don't be an engineer.
I want you to be like you.
Puppet. Be in a puppet school. You can be a puppet too. All right, you know what that music is, Allie?
Uh-oh. Is it panel time?
It's the panel time.
Yes, pillow for brains.
So I'm gonna bring in the I can't. It's very hard. Jim Bob, I cannot run the show, run the puppet, and read the comments all at the same time. So I haven't even been over in the comment section.
You're doing a great job, Puppet. A great job.
Thank you.
I got this. So I want to know what PTL was, though. Someone asked a question about PTL. 1, I don't know who you're talking about, and 2, I don't know what PTL is. So if you could chime back in and let us know. I believe that was on YouTube. I know. You gotta look. If you're gonna use acronyms, you gotta let me know what they are, because everybody does acronyms.
All right, I guess I should bring in the panelists.
That's what I thought you were doing. I was stalling for you.
And I went to the comments and I was trying to read the comments.
I told you I had the you don't listen cotton ball for ears.
I know you said you were going to handle it, but I could put them on the screen, but I have to do that. Hang on. Anyway, I'm going to bring in our first panelist. Oh, jeez. He's back too. He wants to come on the panel. Our very first panelist, our very own, the one who's so politically savvy, she uses it as her name. Here she is. Savvy, welcome to the Puppet Carlson.
Oh, we're so close.
Hey, girl.
Woo! Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Can y'all hear me good? Because I have now a new laptop. I have ear pods and a Ring camera, you guys.
Very good.
You're looking good.
You
You're
look
sounding good. Yeah, it's very good. How do
Allie looks so pretty, and I come in here with an Atlanta hoodie.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Look, look. I've been working all day, so it's all good.
Do I look good? I'm using a filter. It's supposed.
Puppet, you look amazing.
It's supposed to add a little bit of fuzz to my face. What do you think?
Yes, your skin looks quite fuzzy.
Yeah, thanks. Pillowy. I'd go with pillowy.
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 Soft. Very soft.
Very soft.
And speaking of someone who has a soft face and a soft jaw, here's my sidekick, David Pollack.
The David Pollack.
I've been calling the David Pollack all night.
I'm soft tonight. I'm told you I'm Tim pulling it tonight because and where's our music? Where's our panel music?
They played it,
David.
Played longer than you ever play it.
Hey, look,
I froze and I had to leave and come back because it's cold up here.
Shrinkage.
Oh, there it is.
Was?
No, there's no shrinkage.
He was in the pool.
No, I wasn't in the pool. I'm gonna be in the hot tub later though.
It was
cold. Savvy, your camera looks great. Your lighting looks great. Your sound is great. You look fantastic. Big upgrade. Big upgrade.
Thank you, David. I followed the instructions
Good.
of the lovely panel. So
yeah, you did a really good job.
So we're getting there.
Sorry, I'm looking like shit tonight.
You look great.
I'm in a garage in the
You
West
look
Virginia.
more manly than normal, so that's an upgrade.
And I miss you, David. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I miss you.
I do.
We had fun in Arizona.
Now you're
You got a cotton ball there, Puppet?
No, it was all the David Pollack missed.
Give it a cotton ball.
How can you miss him? He's still here. He hasn't left. He can't even leave for like 5 seconds.
No, you can't. It's like,
No.
You guys pick up the show and then hi. How are you? What are you doing?
Listen, I could have been sitting here having I could have been sitting here having an adult beverage, and
why aren't you?
I couldn't leave my people hanging. I couldn't do it.
Okay,
but I could. Yeah. What are we talking about, Puppy? You're hosting the show.
Great comment from Jim Bob. The ladies always look amazing.
Thank you, Jim Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you for commenting on my lighting. That's very nice.
Lighting.
Yeah. No,
all right, Puppet. What's the topic?
So I've got so much stuff here tonight, but I'm going to start. I don't think we can do the show without at least acknowledging the passing of Jimmy Carter. 100 years old. He passed away.
Wait a minute. They finally admitted he died? He died like 2 weeks before the election.
He's been in hospice for 2 years.
Yeah. No, they kept him alive in hospice so he can vote.
Right. That's multiple times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, there has been an outpouring of commentary on Carter dying. Mm-hmm. And, which has actually, broadly ranged the spectrum of positive to negative. Do any of you have any comments that you would love to share about Jimmy Carter? Go ahead, Savvy. I'd love to hear it.
Great. I have 2 comments. Once I made a post yesterday because one thing that fascinates me as a history nerd, buff, whatever, is 100 years. You can't take that from him. So what he must have seen throughout his lifetime must have been remarkable. I mean, he's a young boy from the South, from Georgia. So growing up in that era, but then also he was a veteran, which is noble. He was a naval veteran. He was duly elected president, so I'm not going to take that from him. I will not talk about his presidency, but he was, in fact, the U.S. president. But his humanitarian efforts were wonderful. He had a strong marriage to his wife for some wild amount of years. And it is quite something to go from a senator to a president in, I think, a span of like 13 months, something like that. All of those are wonderful achievements that I will not take from him. Now, here we go. I am irritated about something that I learned, that the New York Stock Exchange will be closed on the 9th for that funeral. The New York Stock Exchange has never, ever been closed for a funeral for a president. So that is, I'm just wondering why. And
That's weird.
I don't like it.
I mean, he did so much for the stock market, didn't he?
Yeah. Say what?
I said he did so much for the stock market.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? No. But his life in, looking, I mean, that's a Sentinel Ace. It's 100 years. That's incredible. The way that the United States has changed over that lifespan with, oh my gosh, we went through the Great Depression and we went through many different, very important times, eras, movements within the United States in that 100 years. And so for that, I think that must have been incredible to be able to see all of that. So that's my Jimmy Carter comment.
Here's one of the things that I think is important to remember about Jimmy Carter. Even though he was here 100 years, he must not have realized that the government could be corrupted, and that, he must not have noticed that, because we're going to take a quick look at this clip back where he said this.
Russia has been proven by our intelligence community to have interfered with one of our human rights, which is the right of free and fair elections. What's your reaction? How should we deal with Russia?
Well, the president himself should condemn it, admit that it happened, which I think 16 of the intelligence agencies have already agreed to say. And there's no doubt that the Russians did interfere in the election. And I think the interference, although not yet quantified, if fully investigated, would show that Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered on his behalf.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract.
He's going with this. When it ends, but I thought I had to press it. Okay. So, guys, what do you think of that? I love his reaction at the end when they get him in that gotcha, and then he's like, well, I guess I said that.
I mean, there's nothing you could say.
I could say something. I could say something. I don't. Why do we have to say anything nice at all? I don't understand. Like, he was a terrible president.
Right.
Americans were held hostage because of him. Americans couldn't afford gas because of him. He was a one-term president. And if what he's known for is being president, and this is his legacy, and we're closing on the stock market for it, you know what? That's just another financial disaster that we can accredit to Jimmy Carter. Yes, he died. And as a human, everybody's sad when somebody dies. As an American political figure, as a human, we mourn. Fine. He has a family, we mourn. But as a president and his political life, he was a terrible president.
Right.
Like, why should I care all of a sudden now that he's dead and pretend he's a good president? I'm not going to.
Nobody said anything nice about him. Outpouring. Now he's dead. Everybody has to say something. Now, it is. He did die knowing that he used to be the worst president in the history of the country.
That's true. Now, he could die at peace now.
The second worst, because this guy, I got a clip here talking about Jimmy Carter, the worst president in the history of the United States of America. Here it is.
Take from President Carter?
Decency. 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 Everybody deserves a shot. Everybody. Can you imagine Jimmy Carter walking by someone and you need something and just keep walking? Can you imagine Jimmy Carter referring to someone by the way they look or the way they talk? I can't. I can't. You know, I think the end of the deal here is that one of the reasons why we're looked to by the rest of the world, for the bulk of our nationhood, we've laid out what our values are. You said what we believe. It's not just in the Declaration, we hold these truths to be self-evident, but there's a feeling. The rest of the world looks to us.
I believe that guy is the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. Wow.
When was that? That was today?
That was like today, yesterday. That's
Yeah. Well, they probably have him in hospice in the White House, to be honest with you. I mean, how old is that guy?
Biden's been in hospice for 4 years, I think.
Yeah. Like I don't understand it. But let me say this though. President Trump actually said something nice about Jimmy Carter. He talked about his legacy in a very positive way. So there's that. I mean,
so I played that clip for 2 reasons. A, to cap off the Jimmy Carter discussion and how weird, classically weird the beginning of that was with the decency.
Yeah.
And like
and that smile, that whatever that was.
Disgusting clown smile that he's got.
Yeah, that was weird.
And
I would just, for the record, love to see Allie's face in person when watching that clip. Can we? Because she is so expressive. Anyway, I was thinking the whole time, like, I want to see Allie's face right now because
it's
I'm gonna die.
Don't eat, if you don't want to eat while you're watching that clip because you might actually puke. I think it's so disgustingly weird. I couldn't even watch it when I was preparing the show. So that was weird. And so it leads us into this next topic, which is the mainstream media all of a sudden starting to wake up and say, yeah, I think people might have been lying about Biden's cognitive impairment back all those times. I've got a clip about that. You guys want to see it?
Sure.
Here we go.
One of the things we also do in the year-end correspondence roundtable is dig into what was undercovered or underreported. Jan?
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline that became undeniable in the televised debate.
At the presidential debate with Donald Trump.
Unquestioned. And, you know, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal for 4 years, and yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years, which could have led to a primary for the Democrats. It could have changed the scope of the entire election. Yet, still, incredibly, we read in the Washington Post that his advisors are saying that he regrets that he dropped out of the race. You know, that he thinks he could have beaten Trump. And I think that is either delusional or they're gaslighting.
President Biden has said repeatedly he was sick during the debate June 27th in Atlanta, and he's always been fine, and he leaves fine. That is his position, the position of many of his top aides.
Disgusting.
You see how they tried to cover that for her?
Gaslighting.
Like, they really did try to cover for her saying that. And she was quivering as she was talking like, oh gosh, I should not be saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So bravo to her for having a little bit of courage to say the truth. But shame on everyone else for kind of looking at her like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, and the guy there at the end who was just trying to completely for the system. I mean, just ridiculous. Just so that they're surprised it was underreported, and maybe they should have asked more questions. Like, isn't that your job as the media to ask friggin' questions?
We've been saying that for years.
Yeah,
4 years, but we're the crazy people.
Right. No, well, we have.
You know what's disgusting about that puppet? You know what my problem is with it? By the way, you're doing a great job. I don't know how you keep playing these video clips with no hands. Like that, I don't know. What are you using?
You don't want to know.
But I can tell you.
Look at this profile.
Can you stop trying to ruin the magic of the show, David, and just talk?
All right. I'll try, but it'll be uncharacteristic of me. So the
It's
issue
definitely not uncharacteristic for David to talk.
Right.
I'm just
or ruin things. So here's the deal. When they thought Biden was the savior of the basement that was going to save our republic from Trump, those people are the ones that pretended he was fine cognitively. Those people are the ones who pretended knowing his deficits. They propped him up. And now, because they don't like the outcome of the election, an election that they got because of their policies, and by the way, because they inserted Kamala without a primary, a candidate that has never won a primary, that had no ability to get elected, and now they're blaming Biden. Look, I'm not ever going to defend Biden. I think he's a corrupt person and he never should have been president. That
Definitely
being
not.
said, right, but that being said, I think it's pretty dirty to use him in the way they used him, and really, I mean, look, as a younger individual, I'm sure he was perfectly capable of the corruption he was engaged in. But as an elderly person, that dude has no idea what's going on anymore. His wife led him around by the arm to whatever event so she could live in the White House. His children took advantage of him. Hunter Biden, we know what happened there.
Those are cheap fakes, David. Those didn't actually happen. That's cheap
Right.
fakes.
Allegedly.
Fakes. He didn't.
Allegedly. And the other, but now, because they're not happy with the results of the election, they're gonna be like, yeah, of course he sucked. I just think that's dirty. I mean, but that's the problem. Their policies suck. Democrats' policies suck. They went way too far to the left. Democrats don't even vote for Democrats anymore. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden's cognitive level. Right. And then that's all I have to say about that.
Like, imagine if we followed the laws, we could have had a real primary like we should have had anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, just let's not forget when we were saying this was all going on for the last 4 years, what they were saying. Let me show you this little clip here.
He is, again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
Aha!
He's wise. Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience.
And his experience, because of his age and his wisdom, has been invaluable to this country.
A lot of countries, people who've been in office a longer period of time are praised for their wisdom.
I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
It is hard for us to keep up with this president.
His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
And this kind of sense that he's not ready for this job is just a bucket of BS that's so deep, your boots will get stuck in.
And there you go.
What was on that guy's head in that one?
That was Jamie Raskin. So he was having chemo. So he had the do-rag.
I know, and I get that, and I feel bad about that. But why do guys wear that?
I don't know, David.
Because maybe he just felt unconscious being a bald man. But it doesn't matter, because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that they're saying that they were surprised and they should have probed deeper when we've been pointing this out. And all the time that we were pointing it out, they were playing Gaslight America over here with bull crap clips and there was another minute of clips, and there's another hours of clips if you go and find them. And how do you know these people are lying sacks of crap? Because A, their lips are moving, and B, they're all saying the same damn thing.
But we have 4 years of clips.
They knew.
I mean,
they knew. And for them to say, this is what the legacy media does now. They'll know something has been true for years, and then at the end of it all, when they've lost, they'll sit there and go, oh, we didn't know that. If we'd have just known sooner. It looks like all the evidence correlates to, well, no shit. You didn't do your job to begin with, and we've been telling you this whole time, and nobody picked it up, but yet you're silencing us, kicking us off platforms, keeping our money away from us, PayPal and other companies. Right. Like, it's cell phones giving our information out. Like, we've been screwed this whole time, but we've been right the whole time. Like, stop abdicating your authority and then pretending like you have nothing to do with it. You're participating in the crime, but you're like, oh, I didn't know. BS. Take some accountability.
Well, if you listen to a lot of those clips, the wording was exactly the same. Those are their talking points that they send out to their ambassadors, and that's exactly how they have to say it. That's when you know something is awry.
That's when you know they're right. That's when you know the gaslight. And you know the media got those same talking points. Those same people in that first clip who were saying, we were surprised. I didn't know. They got those same talking points, and they reiterated those same talking points.
By the same philanthropist that owns, apparently, all of these companies. Guys, if you want to get rid of the legacy media, you have to put your money and your resources into different avenues, into different programs that are aligned with your values. There's nothing wrong with doing what they're doing to benefit our movement. If it's not illegal, there's nothing wrong with doing the same thing. It just doesn't make sense if you don't think about it. Stop being like that and just do it. Support those that support your mission.
Do it.
Well, I think really what you saw in that clip, and again, I'm so impressed with you're able to do those clips up it. I think what you saw in that clip was really what America's don't trust the government anymore, or don't trust what they see on television anymore. I mean, you go back, you can go to COVID, you can go to you can go to any different example of when you're told on television something that your heart knows isn't the truth, and yet it's not popular for you to believe what you know is the truth because of all the different factors that I can outline that you all know about. And so I think that's really the issue with that, is that we all knew that this wasn't a secret. It wasn't a well-kept secret, yet they went on TV and they acted like, of course. And I think that's the disrespect that politicians and both mainstream media have for the general public, that they just don't know any better, and we could just tell them and they'll believe us. And that's why 2022, I mean, that's why in 2024 we have Donald Trump returning to the White House, because these people lie to people, and people are smarter than they think they are. And this is a perfect example.
All right, we have not a lot of time left, and I have 3 topics.
Wow.
Yeah, there's 3 topics we can talk about. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then you guys can decide what you want to talk about.
You're taking my trick.
I am. We've got, because they're all good. We've got the White House sending another $2.5 billion to Ukraine in a last-ditch effort to destroy America before Biden's out of office.
Yep.
By the way, we know Biden's not running the country because he's cognitively impaired, and so somebody else is spending our money.
Puppet, wait. Here's what you do. You have 3 panelists, right?
Okay.
Assign a topic to each panelist. Just go ahead.
Or we could just give 1 minute or like one answer per topic. Like, make it short and sweet. So what's the
whatever idea you think is better? Go with that one. You have to choose.
We've got Trump endorses Speaker Mike Johnson. Okay, and then we have bird flu is back. Okay, bird flu is the next pandemic. Okay, all of these are loaded topics. So Allie, you get to go. Sound off one of the 3 topics. Go.
No. So our money going to Ukraine is for money laundering, and I need to know why Congress has not figured out who the hell is actually running our government. But that's perfectly within their toolbox. They can actually subpoena whoever is in his administration to come forward and tell us who the hell's running our country. But they're all, spaghetti Republicans that don't want to do anything. So that's number 1. Number 2, the fact that Trump decided to endorse Mike Johnson, I think, is a political strategy move. I don't think it has anything else to do with anything other than that. We have a very slim majority right now, and anybody that is America First that is going to go up for House Speaker is going to get shot down because of all the BS games that they like to play up there. So having Mike Johnson where he's at is fine, as long as we the people continue to put pressure where it deserves to be. Lastly, the bird flu, we didn't fall for it the first time. I'm definitely not effing falling for it again. So you can keep your bird flu and all your vaccines and BS that comes with it. So thank you very much.
Okay. She covered them all. But Savvy, which one do you want?
Oh, Lord. I'll take the last 2 because the first one, nope, I'm tired of it. No more effing money to Ukraine. Done. That's it. Second one, I 1,000 agree with Allie on this one. It's the art of the deal. So we have to focus on President Trump getting into office. And there are a lot of things coming up within the next week and a half that people aren't necessarily thinking about. We have all of the hearings for all of the appointments. Those are coming up. Super, super important. So I trust the president. I voted for the president. So what he says goes. All right, sir, if that's what you say, okie dokie. That doesn't mean I have to like it, right? So that's my stance on that. I do think it's 1000% strategic. The third, the bird flu. When I read that it came out, oh, they're pushing. I started laughing. I'm like, do y'all really think we're that stupid? I mean, that's ridiculous. No, keep moving.
Full stop.
Full stop.
David.
I'll do an alley thing and just rapid fire.
Okay.
Ukraine, you know how I feel about Ukraine. I don't know. He's literally throwing as much money towards Ukraine as he can as he's on his way out. It's not going to make a damn lick of difference. All it is a money transfer between the taxpayers and the military industrial complex. That's really all it is. It's rewarding donors for the $1 billion they gave to Kamala to lose. I'm gonna go to the bird flu thing first before Mike Johnson because I have more to say about that. The bird flu, seriously. Moving on. Okay, Mike Johnson. How much time do we have? What time is it, Puppet? I can't see my clock.
9:01.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll be quick. All right. So here's the deal. And this goes to my comment.
So I can give you a little more time.
All right. Thanks, Puppet. You're gracious. You're gracious, Puppet. The issue with Mike Johnson is what I alluded to earlier, and it goes to the absolutist mentality. Mike Johnson is the current Speaker of the House. He has not done what we expected him to do, right? Where are the January 6 tapes? Where are the balanced budgets? Where are the debt ceiling? Where is the single subject spending bills, right? We haven't got any of it, and we're not going to. The reality is Congress doesn't work very well, which is why they have an 11% approval rating.
Yeah.
But President Trump is the chief executive now, right? And he has to get shit done, right? So when he gets to Washington, D.C., he needs bills passed quickly. The last thing Donald Trump needs is a fight for the speaker. And at the end of the day, you're not going to get Jim Jordan type speaker. You're not going to get them. They're not going to make it because it's the establishment. The establishment still runs Washington. Look what happened to Matt Gaetz. Look what's happening to Pete Hegseth. The reality is that third branch of government is still establishment. We might have the White House, right? We might have the court. We do not have Congress. And so, Mike Johnson, if you're going to have an organization that's establishment and you got to get stuff done, you're better off having it led by somebody in the establishment. So this actually makes a lot of sense because a big shakeup would have meant a stalemate and no legislation. And plus, we have such a slim majority in the House right now. We're one selection for the cabinet away from Hakeem Jeffries. So this actually makes a lot of sense. And so for people who are absolutists and are like, I hate Mike Johnson. Look, I don't like Mike Johnson either. I don't think he's done a good job. But you know what? I don't like most of what Congress is doing. I think there's probably in a couple of my fingers and toes, I can count the people that I think actually do what we expect them to do when they get to Washington.
Right.
The rest is the swamp. But like I said, I think Mike Johnson is a good leader of the swamp. He knows how to navigate the swamp. And until he opposes Trump's agenda, then why not? Let him navigate the swamp and give us Trump's policies. But if he starts opposing him publicly, then you know what? Then maybe it'll be time to replace him. But Trump's savvy, and he knows what he's doing. And endorsing Johnson, not having a speaker fight going into it means he's going to get stuff done from day one, which is what the American people want to see at the end of the day. Look, Trump doesn't have to be reelected, okay? He doesn't have to worry about people on the far right being upset with him. He doesn't have to worry about running again. So he's gonna, and it's gonna disappoint people. And I'm not saying I agree, but he's gonna be a centrist. As much as that it's gonna piss people off, second-term presidents are centrist because they don't have to worry about re-election and they actually want to have a legacy. And this is Trump's last hurrah. He almost got assassinated. His first term was awful because they impeached him and they indicted him and they did everything they could possibly do. Trump wants to do the best he can possibly do in these 4 years. And that means making deals with Democrats. It means making deals with the swamp. And it's going to upset some people, but at the end of the day, I really think America's going to be a better place because of it. And that's my thought on that.
You have to learn how to crawl before you can walk. It's one step forward at a time. We can't just completely go in and bulldoze the whole thing. We don't have the infrastructure for that.
Correct.
And until we get involved locally at our local communities, right? Nothing changes at the top. So if you're complaining about what's happening nationally, what the hell are you doing locally to fix it?
That's it.
Right, because all of those congressmen and women, they come from our local communities. If you don't like it,
that's it. Local action, national impact, right, Allie? Now, here's the deal. Before we end, Puppet, I have to say, one, your logo is hilarious. like the best troll ever. Second, I love this show. I mean, I'm not hosting, I'm just a panelist on it, but this
You
show
do
is
a
so
great
much damn
show.
fun. Like, I love this show. And you guys done a great job tonight. And Savvy, I appreciate you being here always. Allie, thank you so much for being here. And Puppet, thank you. Thank you for taking over the show. You've done an
You're
amazing
welcome.
job. And I'm going to throw it
I
back
did
to
a lot
you.
of work to get the show together
I know,
tonight.
and you did an amazing job. Your clips were great. Your intro, like, you've done a great.
And
I'm super impressed,
so much
Puppet.
more stuff.
Okay, you're gonna make people vomit. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you so much for joining the Puppet Carlson.
I'm not done yet. I'm going to wrap it up.
David Pollack,
about my
Allie Day, and
I'm the star of this
Savvy.
show. Say it, Puppet.
I'm the star of this show, Dave. Listen, Mike Johnson is. I'm not done. I'll wrap the show up, Allie.
I was trying to get in the middle of that bromance y'all were making me do.
It was very thick and in here.
I was not. I was trying to just say that I put a lot of clips together that I didn't even get to play.
You did a good job.
I was getting a little uncomfortable. It was
Okay,
making me a little uncomfortable.
I'm telling you what, Mike Johnson's mashed potato. That's what he is. And Trump is just trying to get shit done. Trump's way to drain the swamp is term limits. We didn't get a chance to talk about that tonight, but we really need to talk about that because the term limits is the secret to draining the swamp for real. It's to take back the congressional piece of the puzzle so that we aren't in this predicament later on in the future. And if Trump can pass term limits, which I don't know if he can, but if he could get that done, man, that would make a huge difference to actually cleaning the swamp for the future of America.
Yeah.
The money to Ukraine is just disgusting. Just for a quick peek, this is what the roads in North Carolina still look like. I think the money is better spent in the country than out of the country, and anybody who
absolutely
is not America first, that's for sure. And you're right, David. Those are all bribe payoffs in the last ditch effort to reward the cronyism and pay Zelensky back for whatever he did for Biden. And the bird flu. Oh, I'll end the show with a bird flu clip, I guess. Or maybe it's not very interesting. I'm gonna end the show with the Biden clip of he's sharp as a tack because it's just always a fun one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been a great show. Allie, thank you for being on the panel tonight and being my co-host. I really, really appreciate you. Savvy, always lovely to have you. You look great. Your setup is great. Thank you. And David, all the way from West Virginia. You know what? I appreciate you being on the show too, darn it. And
love you, Puppet.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me.
As much as it pisses the ladies off, I love you.
Oh, you know what? I did go through some photos of us from our We the Studios photo shoot, and there was one of you kissing me, and I'm gonna show everybody that photo next week. It's just really disturbing, actually, and it's just a proof that David was trying to molest the puppet. Okay,
never, ever.
I'm going to show. I got proof.
You better end it. Puppet, the flea stops here. End the show. We're late. We're running late. Come on.
I bring the receipts.
Look at Allie's face. She's disgusted by you.
Yeah. Not me. It's you.
No,
all
it's
right?
not me.
It is. It's you.
You two are a hot mess.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Puppet Carlson Show, and the fleece stopped here.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, y'all.
He is, again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his